Hello. I am so glad to be here. And more importantly, I'm so glad you guys are here. It's the end of the day and you stuck around. Thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate it. Especially because today I'm talking about really something that I get very, very excited about and passionate about, and that is innovation. I love it. It is definitely a roller coaster ride. It's the kind of thing where, you get all excited about doing, but then, it starts going up and you get a little fearful about some of your ideas, and before you know it, your heart is in your mouth and you're feeling a little nauseous and you're nervous, but you know what? You go through it, the exhilaration of it all, and then, you line back up ready to do it again. So I'm super excited to talk to you guys about this today. So I am definitely going to be talking about it from the perspective of my two companies, Hotel Z and Accent Inns. Now, how we look at our innovation is, we're always trying to set ourselves apart. So we want to be different. How are we going to set ourselves apart? So you might think Hotel Z, it's a pretty easy one to set yourself apart with. And for those of you who know Hotel Z, it does kind of stand out. So I think it's an easy one to talk to innovation about. Accent Inns might be a little different. So for those who don't know Hotel Z, I'll give you just a really quick and dirty background. This was a dated, dumpy motel about 2 years ago, and then we completely transformed it. So we added bright colors, we fully renovated the rooms. They're beautiful, modern, funky rooms. We wanted to make sure that it was a social hub in our lobbies. So what we did was we took the coffee out of the rooms, that kind of stale, yucky hotel coffee. We took that out, got rid of the coffee makers in the rooms. We wanted people to come down to our lobbies to socialize, to drink awesome, free, unlimited coffee. We also added other items to our lobby areas so that people would interact. And that includes, our vinyl listing station. We've got a ton of games out. You can either play directly with the front desk or with each other. We've got a ping pong lounge. We've got a Zedinator slide. We've got typewriters. It's definitely something where we wanted people to come together and have an experience. Oops, forgot the best part. We also, instead of innovating forwards, we took a look backwards and we added things like rotary dial telephones to our rooms. So I'm going to be giving a lot of examples about Hotel Z coming up. I just wanted to give you a brief introduction to it. And then, of course, there's Accent Inns. So now we've got 5 properties around BC, and this might not be something that you would think as totally innovative. You might think, well, it's just, it's a moderate hotel chain. Like, how innovative is that? Well, I tell you, this is the one that we have really innovated because it's a moderate hotel chain. And how are you going to stand out? How are you going to stand out from the competition, especially when you're going up against the big boys like Best Western and Holiday Inn Express and all those guys? How do you make your product stand out? So Accent Inns has definitely been more of a challenge. And so what we decided there was we really had to look at what made us different from those big boys, what set us apart. And this poster became a rally cry for us at the head office here in Victoria. We knew that there was something special about Accent Inns, and we knew that the best way we could sum it up was that we were different in a good way. So now how do we take this and put it everywhere, into every single touch point, into everything that we do? So we started off by adding a little personality to our rooms. So this little guy, he will greet you in perhaps some of your more vulnerable moments, because you will often find him when you're sitting on the toilet, you look over and there's this little guy staring at you. We have a number of them. They're all ranges and sexes and sizes. They're quite something. So this person, this little rubber duck who is non-toxic, environmentally friendly, adds some personality to our rooms. And that is another thing that is really important about Accent Inns is we've got a lot of great personalities. And so what we wanted to do, though, we wanted to make sure that people actually got to know our staff a little bit better. And how do you do that? Well, how we did it was we crossed off our titles, which are really generic and quite meaningless, and we allowed people to add their own title. You can have any title you want. So Linda, she's amazing. She works on our front desk, and she's the fairy godmother. She helps people get to the ferry and get there on time. But what happens is that now suddenly people are asking her, why are you the fairy godmother? And then this conversation happens, and you get to know Linda a little bit more, and you realize that she really is a fairy godmother, and that she's going to take care of you. And you've just met someone truly special, and chances are you're probably going to get a hug from her when you leave. So our people are really special, and we wanted to get that out. And then because they're so special, we want to make sure that we were excellent employers. So we are an award-winning hotel chain that are good employers. We often win awards for this, and it's something we're extremely proud of. But of course, we've got to be very innovative when we're looking at our HR policies. So we're constantly trying to think up ways, how do we make Accent Inns an absolutely amazing place to work? And it takes a lot of innovative thinking when you don't have the budget of the big boys. So our rooms, they've got to look great, right? It's so important. So we're renovating every single one of our hotel rooms. Does this make us stand out? Is this innovative? So we try to think of other ways to make sure that we could be a little bit more innovative, a little different than the other guys. So we'd like to put a few surprises in the rooms. So this is what you'll find when you open up the desk drawer. Just little things, and it's amazing how sometimes a paperclip can really make your day. I also wanted to be the best at something, the best in the world. So the title on my name tag, on my business card, says President CEO, but it's crossed off and it says Bike Lover. So for me, it was normal to want to become the bike-friendliest hotel chain in the world. So that's what we're doing. I think we're the bike-friendliest hotel chain in the world. So what we've done is we've added bike washing stations where you can clean your bike, you can tune your bike. We have got they're park tools, they're mechanic-grade tools. You can overhaul your headset. You can spend hours working on your bike at an Accent Inn. We've also got our own racing team. And then what we also wanted to do in the rooms was to inject a little bit more personality. We wanted to make sure that every single touch point was funny and fun and innovative. So we've looked at everything. So here's our key card. But it could be a sign that's showing you where the elevator is. It could be any sign. Trust me, we've thought about them. If the ice machine's broken, if it's back in 5 minutes, it's funny. And what that does is it puts a smile on people's face, and I think it gives us a bit of personality. So hopefully, with that little bit of background, I have established a bit of innovation credibility with you guys. So what I want to do now is just talk to you a bit about some of the ways that I use to foster innovation. So one of the first things that I do is I get out of the weeds. And I got to tell you, right now at this very moment, I am so totally in the weeds. I'm so in the weeds, it's scary. So I love the fact I'm talking to you because I'm going to try to heed my own advice here. So what I mean by this is, like, right now we're about to open another Zed in Kelowna. And so I have got this huge to-do list, and I'm just trying to tick things off and get things done. I'm in the weeds. I'm not being creative. I'm not thinking big. I'm not dreaming right now because I'm just trying to get things done. And so what I need to do, and I promise tomorrow after I get a few things done, I will schedule something. and what I'm going to schedule is some time to dream. And so that would be, let's say it's Monday to Friday because, hey, weekends are for my family and my kids. Monday to Friday, I'm going to schedule some time where it's just me. And what works for me is usually a blank piece of paper or a journal or something like that. I'm a huge fan of journaling. And I'm not talking about the, dear diary, today I went swimming. I'm talking about, like, we are mind mapping here. We're getting your ideas out. You're brainstorming just with yourself. It could be a bullet journal. It could be a vision board. It could be collecting your ideas in a digital format like Pinterest. On Pinterest, you can do a secret board. So if you don't want to share your vision with anyone else, do a secret board. And no one else sees it but you. And it's collecting all those ideas in a place where you can start brainstorming just even with yourself. So huge believer in getting out of the weeds. Another thing it reminds me of is the course or the program Strategic Coach. They recommend having a free day, I think it's like every month or every couple weeks, where you do this completely. You clear off your calendar, you turn your phone off, you don't check your email, and you are just spending that day dreaming. So I'm now going to say the reverse. Now you should get back into the weeds. And what I mean by this is that I think it's really important to actually get down onto the level of your customers. For me, it is spending a day in housekeeping. It's spending a day on the front desk. And it's trying to get that completely different perspective of what is it I'm trying to accomplish here? Where are we trying to go? What is the customer going to think? Because oftentimes when I'm dreaming like wild, weird, crazy ideas. And this one kind of brings me back to reality. Speaking of weeds, I am not, like I could put your phones down. Mandy Farmer is not recommending that you smoke weed to get creative. But if it works for you, go for it. What this slide is about changing your perspective. And so what I mean by this is, I'll give you an example. Okay, one perspective change that I use often is I call it operations as marketing. And so what I do is I will do something out of our operational budget instead of our marketing budget, which my director of marketing, John, loves it when this happens. And so how this is different is that it makes me change my perspective on something. So meet Doris. Doris is actually an absolutely amazing billboard disguised as a hotel shuttle bus. So this is operations and marketing. This does not come out of the marketing budget. It comes out of the operational budget, but that is one of the best billboards out there. So how I thought of this, how we came up with this idea, was my husband and I, our family vehicle is a vintage Volkswagen bus. And we're cruising along, bouncing up and down in it. And I'm watching everyone stop and turn as we go by, even though like this isn't the Hotel Z bus, this is our family vehicle. But eyes are drawn to it. And I'm thinking, what can I do with this? Why are eyeballs being drawn to this bus? And how do I put my message on this bus? Then before you know it, it becomes our hotel shuttle bus. And Hotel Z's born, and then the ideas just snowball from there. So that's one way to change your perspective. And here's a great example of our billboard. So we hosted an Instagrammer, and a couple posts of Doris, and we get 6,000, 8,000 likes on just these images alone. Okay, so another way to change your perspective. I'm not recommending drinking beer to change your perspective, though I do love beer. I love it. What this slide is for is one thing that I often do is I will take a company that I hugely admire. So Philips, I have huge respect for them. And I will ask myself, what would Matt Phillips do? What would he do here? So an example is we had this wall that is facing Douglas Street, and we were just going to paint it hot pink. I'm like, yeah, that's edgy, hot pink. And then I thought about it. I'm like, well, what would Matt Phillips do? He wouldn't just paint it hot pink. He'd do something really funky with it. And so the pixelated wall was born. And this spot, I got to say, if you're ever doing wedding photos or you want to do like your LinkedIn profile pic, get down to here because this wall takes a great picture. And it's free. Okay, why did I put this one up? I put this, changing perspectives, right. Okay, so what I like to do is look at something, anything that we have got, and try to think, how can I do this differently? So in our rooms, every hotel room usually has a hotel directory. It's a boring little black thing. And at Hotel Z, we are rebels against the ordinary. So I'm thinking we cannot just have this binder. So we tried to think, how can we make this different? So for us, we came up with a bulletin board. It was really simple, quick. We can stick things up. We put stickers up there. All the info's up there. And again, it's just a different way of looking at things. Another way that we try to foster innovation is by following trends. So like what's hot right now? What are people watching on TV? Zombies are hot. So we made some zombie movies. Why not? You know, Hotel Z is smoking busy in the summertime. But when all the tourists go, we could use a little help in the occupancy rate. So Halloween is a great time for us to get our name out there. Why not with some zombie movies? It's fun. We garner a lot of press attention, and you can piggyback off of some of the larger events out there. This one is my favorite tactic because it's easy, and that is, of course, copying people, which is the best form of flattery out there. I highly recommend copying people. I spend so much time looking at what other people are doing, so much time. So again, this is whether it's on Pinterest or Facebook or just online. I read hotel magazines. I look at restaurant magazines, even though I'm not a restaurateur, because I think, I bet there's some really good ideas in here. So I follow a lot of people and I see what they're doing and I try to apply it to what we're doing. So our typewriters in our lobby, that came from me walking along Lojo, seeing the typewriters at the Assembly of Text, thinking, that would be great in our lobby. Why not, right? And then the beauty of something like this is that, again, it starts snowballing. And so we started handing out postcards, which kids sit at these typewriters and they write to grandma, which is so awesome. I love this. And then do you know what grandma does? She takes that postcard and she shows all her friends, and then she puts my little piece of marketing on her fridge. Damn, thanks. And that all came from the Assembly of Text, just me walking along. Okay, I gotta think about this. Why did I put, okay, I remember, lemons. This slide is about lemons. Okay, so I'm a big believer that when life gives you lemons, you squeeze the shit out of them. So Hotel Z does not have the best location, right? We're not downtown. We are across the street from Mayfair, so the location isn't great. So whenever I've got anything like that, I think, okay, well, we gotta make it awesome. We've gotta make this so awesome. How do we do that? And so for us, what we did was we added a fleet of bikes that included kids' bikes. And so now what happens is that we back onto the Galloping Goose. So people, tourists who have never been to Victoria, they're hopping on the Galloping Goose, they're riding into Victoria across the Selkirk Trestle, gorgeous. They're having an experience they would not have had if they stayed downtown. It's amazing. So suddenly I feel like I'm making their stay better by my lame location. Wicked. Plus we've also got Doris, and we have another shuttle bus, Bubba. And we take people in those vehicles. And again, it's an experience. People talk about them. We make their stay. And if we were located downtown, that wouldn't happen, and we'd probably be a really boring hotel. So I'm so glad we have a lame location. Wicked. You know, to be perfectly honest, the whole Hotel Z concept came out of lemons. So one of my jobs as CEO of Accent Inns is I need to report to my partners, to my shareholders, on the value of Accent Inns and our property holdings. So every year I calculate what it is our properties are worth. And it was about 10 years ago, one realtor told me, he said, you know, Mandy, no one's buying exterior corridored hotels. So your valuation's plummeted. Sorry, we got no buyers for you. And I thought to myself, oh, I've got to make exterior corridored properties cool. How am I going to do that? And I did. I totally did. So the fact that we are an exterior corridor property, we made them cool. Lemons. Thank you, lemons. I'm so glad because I love Hotel Z. It's been super fun. Okay, so now how do you inspire team innovation? So getting other people to help you with your innovation. Well, the first thing is you got to surround yourself with ideas people. And so at Accent Inns, we've got an amazing culture whereby people are coming up with great ideas. And this guy, John, he is the #1 ideas guy. Some of them aren't so great, but most of them are. Most of them are. And that, if you surround yourself with these people, you're going to get more ideas. So now maybe you're a solo entrepreneur, or it's just you. You still surround yourself with friends who are like-minded, where you kind of riff off each other and you help each other out. It helps. It really helps with teamwork. So at Accent and Zed, most of these ideas came from the team. I forget where they came from, but I know it wasn't my idea to put comic books in the rooms. I think it was your idea. Was it? Maybe, yeah. So surround yourself with good people. Now, sometimes people don't want to share their ideas because they're afraid of criticism, they're afraid you're going to laugh at their ideas, and so they just keep them close to their chests. And I know that feeling. I know that feeling so well because I had one that was I didn't want to share. I was a little embarrassed about it, and I wasn't sure if I should share it, but I'm so glad I did because it garnered a circulation of 42 million, and that was our nooner. So, yeah, we do nooners. So it's a Valentine's Day promotion, and this is not like we're not promoting illicit affairs here. I am promoting the fact that you should treat your loved one to a wonderful mid-afternoon delight. Stop by Hotel Zed. Check-in time is at 11. Check-out time is 2. We have a pool and a water slide. There's ping pong. There's lots of things to do. So, just do something a little unordinary for Valentine's Day. So I almost didn't mention this, right? I was nervous about mentioning this. So I probably mentioned it in kind of a jokey way, right? So there's a lot of great ideas out there. And so what we do have a suggestion box at every Accent Inn and Hotel Zed. And it's because I want people to feel that they can write their stupid ideas down. They can either put their name on it or not, but you never know where a good idea is going to come from. Someone might suggest something. Like the other day we were in a brainstorming meeting and someone suggested something about graffiti. And then before you know it, we all started riffing on it. And we're now going to have a graffiti festival at Hotel Zed. It's like, it just fully snowballed, and this happened 2 days ago. It was awesome. So sometimes you need to have like an opportunity for others to share with you where they feel like they're not going to be totally critiqued. So great place to do that is at Hotel Zed. This was an idea that did come out of one of our brainstorming sessions, and it was the think tank. And so one way I firmly believe to foster innovation is to actually get out of your norm. So like get out of your normal office, go someplace different, meet somewhere where it's very inspiring. So we created a package to help people do this at Zed because it is very creative and energy focused. But I think it's really, really important to schedule those retreats with other people or even with yourself. Just to schedule a retreat where it's focused time, where you can brainstorm on these crazy ideas. Then there's also the ability to post something online and get other people to help you with the innovation. So with our slide, we posted that online and held a contest in order to name it. So it's very possible to collaborate online, again, to encourage all that innovation. Okay, opportunistic pitfalls. This is my favorite part. I love talking about this stuff because that banana is your opportunity. That's it right there. That's where the good stuff's going to happen. Okay, so for me, I took over the company in 2008. It was the summertime. I had 3 months of like the highest revenues we've ever had. It was so cushy. It was super, just an awesome place to be. But then of course, the bottom fell out and the economy went like this. Whoa! And our revenues plummeted. I'm at the head of the company now. It's just me. And then a couple months later, I find out that every single one of our hotels had leaky condo syndrome. Oh no, this is happening on I just started. You know what? It was totally the best thing that ever happened to us. We fully renovated the properties. They were excellent. I learned some huge lessons in leadership, in building a team. And I wouldn't trade that for the world. It totally made me who I am. And I am very grateful for all of those tough, tough years. You know, another great example was a couple years ago, I got one of those midnight phone calls. Damn, they suck. And the ABC restaurant at the Accent Inn was on fire. So I pull in, it is so totally on fire. It burnt down to the ground from arson. And I'm thinking, oh, this is so bad. No, so awesome. So totally awesome. It was our chance to find the perfect restaurant tenant. Suddenly now we've got lineups at the Accent Inn. We're kind of like a hot place to go now. We were never the hot place to go. And that's my office right on the corner there. I got a beautiful brand new office. You should have seen my old office. It was terrible. So, you know, out of the fire, I mean, really, there was this amazing opportunity. So when disaster strikes, I always think, okay, whoa, something amazing is going to come out of this. What is the amazing thing going to be? Okay, this one's a small example, but I wanted to, you know, like fires and disasters are big. Here's a very small example. So we bought these skateboards for our lobby because we were going to use them as shelving. We thought that might be kind of cool, you know, different, innovative. It didn't really work. It wasn't cool. So now suddenly we've got these skateboards kicking around and we're like, what are we going to do with them? Well, we're the first hotel in the world to have its own skateboard program. Like, what else are you going to do with them? So we give out free skateboards, free longboards. You have to sign a waiver, yes. Comes with a helmet. And you know what? It's great. We can say we're the only hotel in the world to do something. I like saying stuff like that. Okay, buzz killers. Maybe not my favorite subject, but it happens and, you know, we need to address it. Okay, so this is one of our notepads that we put in the rooms, right? Every single year, I will get a letter, a handwritten letter, usually from an older person, saying, how dare I accuse them of stealing the pen? It's a joke. It's funny. And so, you know, a couple times we brought it up at head office meetings where we're like, oh, should we pull the notepad? You know, some people just don't get it. But you know, you're not going to please everyone. And really, sometimes you just got to do something. It's funny. And if people don't get it, it's okay, right? Then on the other hand, we also had a few where we were getting, you know, some comments and we realized people don't like this one. They don't like this one. And then you pull it and you change it, right? So I'm not saying you can't be adaptable, but it's just sometimes you really got to listen to your gut. And you also got to listen to your target market and make sure that you're talking to the people who you specifically want to talk to. So we changed this one. Oh, this is a good one. One of the best advice I've ever had in my whole life has been to forget the bozos. Now, we all know those bozos. You know, the bozos who say, you're going to do what? That's a stupid idea. Those bozos. Forget those bozos. There are some negative people out there, and they're never going to get it. But what worries me is sometimes those bozos can talk you out of doing something. They can plant that seed of doubt, or worse, they can start the bozo in your own head talking to you. You got to forget the bozos. Because the magic happens here. It happens outside of your comfort zone. It happens when you're scared. And so, yeah, the bozo's going to talk in your brain and go, you can't do this. You're too busy. It might not work. Well, I'm so totally living outside of my comfort zone right now. I am very fearful. I'm scared. I'm stressed. And it's because I bought this dumpy motel in Kelowna, which I'm transforming into this awesome, magical place. It's going to be amazing, and I know it. And so I'm definitely outside of my comfort zone, and I'm learning to love it. I'm learning to realize that feeling in my, oopsies, the feeling in my chest it's exciting. Okay, so selling your innovative idea. This one's always fun because you got all these ideas. And this could be anything. This could be selling your husband on where you want to go for dinner. This could be, you know, managing up. I think more people should manage up. I am so amazed at how many times I will say, no, let's not do that. And then it's done. They never ask me again. I think, like, I could change my mind. Don't take no for an answer. Keep going. Convince me. Try a different way. And I'll give you some examples here. So I think a great thing to do is to plant a seed. Let people think about it. Because if someone presents me with something right away, especially right now out of my comfort zone, like I got to do these things, tick, 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 I'm saying no more often right now. But if someone were to plant a seed, were to water it, presenting me with some other stuff, I might say yes. Or I might start leaning towards that. So I think it's really important to plant a seed, nurture it, let it grow. So my story with Zed is a pretty interesting one because I wanted to do this for 10 years and I got turned down repeatedly by my business partners. They thought it was a stupid idea. They just thought, like, why on earth would you put $1 million into an old dated hotel, a vintage car as your shuttle bus? Are you stupid? I got it all. They kept turning me down. I couldn't let it go though. I kept presenting business plan after business plan and they would just shoot it down, turn it, no. Finally, I think it was after about 8 years, one of my mentors said to me, Mandy, let it go. It's done. It's not gonna get accepted, they're never gonna do it, and you need to move on. So let it go. And I did. For a good 2 months, I let it go. And then I decided that I would do it differently, right? Because I'd been planting all those seeds for 8 years. So what I did was I invited them down to this property. We owned it at the time, and it was not doing well. So I invited them down, my 3 business partners. I had a blank piece of paper with me, and I said, okay, guys, we're about to lose money. What should we do? And they started feeding me back ideas that were in all my business plans that they had read for 8 years. And I sat there and I wrote notes. I'm like, oh, well, that's a good idea. Vibrant colors? Did you say funky? Funky, okay, we can do funky. And it went from there. So I encourage you to try to go at it from a different angle, a completely different angle. And then the other thing that I really encourage you to do is let whoever you are pitching it to, get them to take credit for it. Let go of your ego, give it to them, say, wow, what a great idea, I love your idea. It certainly worked for me. Then I had to pitch them the second one, right? So now I've got all the business stats, I'm like, look, we're doing great. But still, they were, reticent. And I realized it's because they knew that I was so passionate about Hotel Zed. Why are they gonna listen to me, right? Of course I'm gonna talk about it and how great it is. So they weren't gonna listen to me. And every time I tried to talk to them, it was like my enthusiasm was actually holding me back. They didn't want my enthusiasm because they already knew it was there. So, different tactic, I'm finally learning. I got someone else to write the testimonials and the due diligence report. And I got someone that I knew they would admire. So I called up my friend Paul Nursey at Tourism Victoria, and he was the one, he wrote this just absolutely glowing letter that basically said, Mandy, if you don't do this, I'm gonna quit my job and we're gonna be business partners. So it was that letter that convinced them, and I got my second property in Kelowna, which I'm super excited about. So I guess what I'm saying is keep going, keep trying. If you've got an idea that you totally believe in, that you're passionate about, that you're excited about, don't give up. I know that it can happen for you. So thank you for your time today, for listening, and good luck.